Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have an incredible day. I am here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe has to share about today's energies. So let's take a look at the cards and see what it wants us to know. So we have Spiritual Warrior. Show you are a wise leader. Command the universe. That's the thing. So often, whether consciously or unconsciously, we end up giving our power away. We end up letting other people and external factors dictate our life, our path, how we show up in the world. I've noticed a lot of people who have been just so emotionally volatile that they explode over everything. They're not, tending to themselves, their peace of mind, their well-being, so that they're just so riled up, and even the slightest little tap or provocation will just set them off, and they're like a volcano erupting everywhere. But the thing is, we don't have to be like that. Yes, it's going to take work, especially if you haven't been doing the internal work, if you haven't been, looking at your shadow side and, embracing and healing all parts of you. But so many of us discredit ourselves, we sell ourselves short, we end up playing small and, hiding away and, shrinking back. But you don't have to be quote unquote perfect in order to be a leader, to have all this wisdom and insight to share. I am not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I don't know. There are still plenty of times where I mess up. There are still plenty of times where I'm like, oops, probably should have done that a little bit differently. But that's the thing. We're all humans. We're all learning, growing, improving. We all have our areas for growth, our areas of weakness, our areas of strength. And so don't let the fact that you may have areas where you feel like you need to just have so much growth stop you from shining your light, from sharing your strengths, insights, and skills and blessings, because you do have a lot to offer the world. And maybe, there's some areas where you don't have any expertise, but there are areas that you do. There are areas that you know about, and you could be a leader in that area. Or it could just be that you're willing to listen and you're willing to process, and you can be like, oh, I don't know if you notice this, and but if you did it maybe like this, and you just offer some perspective. Doesn't mean you know it all, but you could just be throwing out, potential solutions. Be like, hey, did you try this? Hey, what about this? Hey, I noticed this. Did you recognize that? Did you think about that? And sometimes it's not that you are, quote unquote, giving them the solution. It's that you're creating the space. You're allowing them to be seen and heard and valued and appreciated. And that space allows them to feel safe, and they start considering possibilities, and they might start bouncing ideas around, and you planting that seed, that idea, that suggestion could lead them in the direction to find the solution. And that wouldn't, it's not like you're like, oh, you need to do it like this, like, oh, what about this? And then it's like, well, I didn't think about that, but if I maybe do this and then this, and it can just lead them to the answer. Sometimes they just need this space. They just need to be seen and heard and valued and feel safe. Because literally, there are so many times people are going around and they are not listening. They are not, having these open, honest, respectful conversations where people can actually share their ideas and not be judged and criticized. And there are so many times people are not listening to understand or to see or to hear. They're listening so they can respond, so they can be like, oh, you say this, well, I'm going to use this as ammunition against you, and this, that, and the other, and you're wrong, and this. And they're talking at people rather than with people. They're not having a conversation. They're having a one-sided debate where they're just doing this onslaught and this barrage and they're not taking in any of it. They're just spewing out. And, you know, I think humans, like anyone, could potentially fall into that trap. But it feels like there aren't as many of us that are actually just willing to have the space to listen, to share ideas, not out of judgment, but just out of like open communication and flow. But yeah, like, you have more strength than you realize, especially if you are listening to content like this, because I can't tell you how many times people have just scoffed and rolled their eyes and it's like, energy, what are you talking about? Because I'll be like, you know, energy doesn't lie. It's like, oh, there's no evidence backing that up. There's no this, there's no that. That's not, you know, logical. That's not reasonable, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, okay, you're not ready for it. Everyone has their unique path, but the fact that you are open to it means you are more likely mindful, you're more likely doing work, you're more likely picking up on things and having that awareness and openness. So props to you. You have a lot more to share than you recognize. So don't sell yourself short and go for it. You can show up as a leader. You have the wisdom, you have the insight, and you are the author of your story. You are the captain of your ship, so you can start speaking things into existence and creating the reality you want. I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.